was building on a lecture. Verses coming daily under pressure. Working on the plot and the scheme. The true stock trademark is at the edge of your dreams. I'm talking one shot for the kill. The priest come freeze up, straight dropping the chills. I'm talking taking over pieces and shares. A ball break sky high. Check the movement is here.
Okay, so that is a hell of a lot better. We've got our coffee now, and as everyone knows that owns a Z3, we don't have cup holders. So let's go for a little bit of a drive and talk about some of the real disadvantages that I had when I had this muffler not on it and I had the muffler delete. So first of all, what was it like driving the BMW Z3 with the muffler delete? It was like being in hell where they played the song that you hate the most on repeat over and over and over. But not only that, it was the loudest the stereo would go. So you needed to listen to that day in, day out. That's pretty much the best way to sum up a muffler delete on the BMW Z3. So let's go into why I ended up fitting back the stock muffler. And the reasons are pretty clear. The drone from the car was insane. Like at a certain RPM when you were driving on the highway, or even at 60, if you're in the wrong gear, the sound would get into your eardrum, it would penetrate it, it would explode your ear from the inside. Like it didn't muck around. It wasn't just a obnoxious loud sound that you really didn't want to hear. It was a sound that you could not handle. And let's be honest, the engine in this car, the M52, I've got the 2.8, it's not the best sounding engine when you try to modify the exhaust. So that was one of the biggest downsides with modifying and cutting off that rear muffler. The other mistake that I did when I cut the muffler off is I added a resonator. Now if you are fixated on doing this modification to your car, you want a loud car, you don't give a crap about the drone, yeah, good on you. I envy people like you, because I was like that when I was younger. If you want to do it, just straight pipe it. Do not put a resonator. Do not think you can make it any quieter. Don't try and get this nice level. Just straight pipe it. When I straight piped it, I was getting the pops, bangs, all the sorts of fun noises, all the fruity noises with it. And then I was silly enough to go, hang on a minute, that's way too loud. Let's put a resonator on it. And all that really did, the hot dog resonator, all it really managed to achieve was it reduced the volume a little bit, but really what it did is it introduced even more drone into the exhaust and made it more unbearable somehow. So when I straight piped it, it sounded like a race car. If you're gonna do it, there is no in between. Go race car or stock. That is it. The next disadvantage is a little bit of a boring one, to be quite honest, but I did notice excessive fuel consumption. I did notice that it went up a little bit, and I was filling up more frequently after driving it, that's for sure. It seems a bit odd that it's used more fuel. Maybe I put my foot into the accelerator a little bit more, who knows. But obviously being a convertible, you do hear everything, you smell everything, you get an experience when the roof is off. Even when the Targa roof or the soft top is on, you hear everything. Like right now I can hear the bearings and the wheels. You know, I can hear outside birds almost chirping. It's ridiculous how much you can hear and how uninsulated these cars are. So obviously removing that big heavy muffler on the rear introduces a tone and noise into the cabin that is so hard to bear with. I mean, when I was younger, I might have been able to deal with it and I just would have put up with it. But now that I'm a little bit older, it just doesn't suit me. It was stopping me from driving the car. I'd literally grab the keys. It was a nice day and I'd be grabbing the keys, looking at the car and just go, you know what? Not today. I don't want to deal with the noise. And that's not what this car is about. It's about having, you know, the opportunity to enjoy beautiful sunny days like this and not second guess whether you should be driving the car. So that was one of the main reasons I went back to the stock muffler, because I just simply wanted to enjoy the car again. I'm not going to be breaking any land speed records with this car. I'm not going to be showing off to people. The people that love these cars are generally 60 years and over. I'm not going to rock up to a car meet with a nice loud exhaust and everyone's going to look at it and go, wow, look at that Z3 with that straight six and a muffler delete. Like, come on. It was time to put the stock muffler back on. Who am I kidding? But we're driving down the beach at the moment, down at the Esplanade. The sun is shining. I'm so happy to be driving this car with an exhaust where if I put my foot into it, all I get is power. And that's the next thing. One thing I noticed that when I did the muffler delete, I missed, I think it's like a bit of that, what do they call it? That back pressure. So I noticed like my brain was telling me the car was faster because I was getting a lot of noise, but after driving it for some time, I actually noticed the car was a little bit slower. I think it was due to the back pressure. I'm not sure. Right now with the stock muffler on it, it feels so much smoother. The torque just feels like it's there. It's hard to explain, but now that the stock muffler is back on, it honestly feels like I've just done an oil change on this car. The power and the delivery of the power is so smooth and so linear compared to when I had the muffler delete on it. I know that sounds crazy, but it just seems to pull. Like, it pulls now so much harder than it did with the muffler delete. I can't explain it. It must be the back pressure. So I guess summing up, look, the muffler delete, it's something that I would never do again on this car. If you are fixated on getting it done or you want to modify the exhaust, what I would say is get a pipe made up, which is a straight pipe from the connector. Don't stuff around with the stock exhaust. So if you want to put it back on, you can just simply connect up the stock pipe again. And if you are going to do it, just make sure you straight pipe it. Do not, and I repeat, do not put a resonator on this thing. You will regret it. So sort of reiterating what I was discussing, if you are fixated on modifying this exhaust, straight piping it, whatever you want to do, just cut the muffler off, straight pipe it. Do not put any form of resonator. Do not put a muffler there. Go full beans, get that full noise out of it, because if you try and quieten it down and think that you're going to get the best of both worlds where, you know, you can drive moderately and no one's going to hear it and you won't get any drone, that's not going to happen. Go full beans, go full race, and enjoy the experience. Hey, if you're young enough to enjoy it, go out and do it. I think it's only fair that we give you an example of how quiet this thing is. Now we have the stock muffler back on. So there we go, roof off. That's 5,000 RPM right there, and you wouldn't know it. You can hardly hear the damn thing. That's one of the really good things about having the stock muffler on it. You can drive this thing like you stole it. You can rev it up. You can do whatever you want, and no one can hear it. This thing's actually got a bit of go, I'm not gonna lie. Will it be as quick as my M2 G87? That is arriving. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out when that thing finally arrives. We have been screwed over a little bit in Australia and no one has their M2 as of yet, but it is coming. I've been told it's on the ship. It's it's on a ship from Mexico to Bremerhaven, and then it's got to go from Bremerhaven to Australia, which doesn't really make sense to me, but supposedly they do some sort of quality control checks. But listen to this. This is down a back street. You've still got that bit of noise and you can still hear in the muffler. It's got a bit of a pop and a bang. That's probably my tune. But see, I can drive it hard and not have to worry about anyone complaining because there is no noise. And if there's a cop around the corner, I don't have to worry about them hearing the car and wondering what I've been doing. But let's give you a full example, because there is a 100 zone up here, so we're just going to stop. Just going to stop up here and give her a bit of a launch. We're going to pull over, let this car go, because we're not doing anything sus here. I'm going to pull out, really give it some beans here. Let's do a 0 to 60. Oh, that is a full pull, full throttle, up to 80 kilometers. And there is no noise. I'm enjoying the car. It is so much more fun. And this is 80 in 5th gear. The roof is off. And I've got a little bit of noise, but it's an enjoyable amount of noise. I don't have to, even if I downshift to 3rd, and it just feels like there's so much more power in that engine. It just delivers it so much more linear, it's so much more enjoyable. You get a satisfaction out of really putting your foot into it. There's a satisfaction that comes with it now that I just simply didn't have when I had the muffler delete on it. And when it's all said and done and you want to drive the car like a normal human being, you have that opportunity to. 3rd gear, 60, roof off. And all I'm really hearing is a little bit of power from the engine, just saying, hey, I'm here, enjoy me. Not the most powerful thing, but you're still gonna get a fair bit of enjoyment. To be honest, this car goes pretty hard. I think obviously one of the main benefits it has is its power to weight. It's a light little beast. It's a fun little car. But on that note, I'm gonna end this video. I'm gonna go and enjoy my BMW Z3 with its quiet exhaust. Now I can hear a few other problems with the engine though, so I can hear everything else that's wrong with this car, but I'm still going to enjoy it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and of course, as always, we will see you in the very next video. Enjoy the day.